Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. This video is addressing S6 students, Applied Linguistics. Contrastive analysis. A contrastive analysis describes the structural differences and similarities of two or more languages. This hypothesis, called contrastive analysis, claims that when you are learning an alto, it's important to be aware of the differences and similarities between your mother tongue and the new language that you're learning. Because the differences, these differences between the L1, your mother tongue, your alto, will be the source of error making in the new language, in the alto. The contrastive analysis hypothesis claims that difficulties in language learning derive from the differences between the new language and the learner's first language. Errors in these areas of difference derive from first language interference. These errors can be predicted by contrastive analysis. Positive and negative transfer. Notice here that we're moving from L1 acquisition to L2 learning. L1 refers to your mother tongue, and so we say L1 acquisition. We acquire our L1. We don't learn it. We acquire it. L1 acquisition. Because we don't go to school in order to learn our L1. Our L1, or our mother tongue, we acquire it in a natural, spontaneous, informal way. We pick it up through interaction with the people around us. So back to the slide. The keywords here are differences between the new and the first language, and the learner's first language, language interference, errors can be predicted, positive and negative transfer. These are the key terms to remember from this slide. Now, contrastive analysis hypothesis claims that when you're learning an alto, you will transfer your L1 rules, the rules from your L1, to the new learning situation. And so, if the rules that you transfer from your L1 to the alto happen to be areas of similarity between the two languages, that would be called positive transfer, and that will enhance and speed up the learning process. On the other hand, if the rules that you transfer from your L1 to the alto happen to be areas of difference between the L1 and the alto, that will be called negative transfer or interference. Now, negative transfer and interference mean the same thing, and that will result in the making of errors, and so will hinder and slow down the learning process. Let me give you a few examples. If, for example, a learner whose mother tongue is Arabic wants to learn English, he or she will be making errors in sentences like, my name is Ahmed, my name is Muhammad. Because in Arabic, we don't say my name is Ahmed, we say Ismi Ahmed or Smiti Ahmed, Smiti Muhammad. But in English, we say my name is Ahmed. So this contrastive analysis hypothesis claims that this Arab learner who's trying to learn English, because is doesn't exist in Arabic, he will be dropping it. He will be dropping it in the English sentence, and so he will be saying, he or she of course will be saying, my name Ahmed, my name Fatima. because of the interference of his mother tongue. And that would be called negative transfer or interference, because the result is an error. If on the other hand, let's take another example, a French speaker, somebody whose mother tongue is French, wants to learn English, because in French we say mon nom est Ahmed, mon nom est Ahmed. So this French speaker will not be making errors in sentences like my name is Ahmed, because this is like his mother tongue. And so he will be transferring the rules from French into English, and because they happen to be the same in this aspect, mon nom est Ahmed, my name is Ahmed, though it's not going to be a problem. It's not going to be positive transfer, and that will help, will enhance, will speed up the learning process. Another example of negative transfer, if a French speaker, somebody whose mother tongue is French, one is learning English, because in French we say attendre, attendre means to wait for, but in English attend means to be present. Now, this French speaker, when learning English, he or she will be transferring the meaning of attendre into French. And so when he uses into English, and so when he uses the word attend in English, he or she will be using it in the wrong way, because he will be influenced by his mother tongue, and that will be a case of negative transfer. Criticisms. In its strongest formulation, the contrastive analysis hypothesis claims that all the errors made in learning the L2 could be attributed to interference by the L1. However, this claim could not be sustained by empirical evidence. Many research studies have pointed out that many errors predicted by contrastive analysis were not observed in learners' language. Now, it says here that all the errors made in learning an L2 could be attributed to interference by the L1, but it's not true, it's not correct, because, for example, if a French speaker is learning English, and he says, for example, yesterday, I go to my friend's house, to my friends. Yesterday, I go to my friends. Instead of saying, yesterday, I went. Now, I go, you cannot attribute it to interference from French, because the French language has nothing to do with this word, or with this kind of error. So it's not because of interference. But here it says, all the errors made in learning the L2 could be because of interference of the L1. So this is not true. I go, when a French speaker says I go, this could be called an error of overgeneralization. You overgeneralize a rule is when you apply it to areas where it's not applicable. For example, in English we say I washed, in the past, I washed, I watched, I started, I decided, ed, we add ed to express the past tense. If you say I go, you are applying ed to a verb where it's not applicable. You are overgeneralizing the rule. The rule says if you want to form the past tense, add ed to the verb, but not to any verb. If you apply it to any and every and each verb, then you'll be making errors of overgeneralization. So the claim that that learning L2 could be attributed, that errors made in the learning of L2, all of them could be because of interference of the L1, is not true, because this claim could not be sustained by evidence. You can give lot of examples of errors that have nothing to do with the interference of the L1. Also, many research studies have pointed out that many errors predicted by contrastive analysis were not observed in learner's language. I mean, the contrastive analysis hypothesis says an Arab, for example, an Arab speaker, if he or she wants to learn English, he will definitely make mistake, make an error, make an error in sentences like, my name is Ahmed. But it's not true. I mean, you may find a lot of Arab speakers who learn this structure in English, my name is Ahmed, my name is Muhammad, with ease and without it posing any problems or any kind of difficulty in their learning process. Thank you. Barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum.